cinema peeps.
I might finally have my shit together now. I know it's happening. I know what day it is. Maybe. Doubtful.
Doubtful. Well, welcome to week 3 of Spooky Month. And let's just start off by giving a round of applause to Kaylee for the kick-ass thumbnail that she made on last week's episode. We gotta give her some props because it looked dope as hell.
Girl. I need to learn from the best, and that's you. But anyways, oh gosh. We had another big week of watching movies.
Woot
Oh my god. I watched Halloween 2, and after I thought I was so smart PVRing it, turns out it was on Prime or Paramount for free.
Oh, really?
Days later, I was like, you bash.
That's okay, because I also recorded it on AMC.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Right? Fast forward through the commercials? Yeah.
Exactly. And then I watched Werewolf by Night, which I've been saying I was going to watch for like 2 years, the little Marvel short film.
Oh, yes.
And I watched Scream 3.
Woot woot.
And yeah, I think that's all.
Nice.
I was like, I can't remember now. What
3
did I
movies for week 3. I like it.
Boom.
I
We're
also
not doing 4 for next week.
I'm just gonna keep increasing it.
Can't.
After we said we can't watch 31 movies.
I know. Just slowly increase it every day.
Right.
Every week.
But I also watched Scream 3 and Halloween 2.
Fuck yeah.
And I watched Lisa Frankenstein on Prime.
Ooh, that's right. Because Kendra was like texting me and taunting me. She was taunting me with my own words. It was very hurtful. She's like, oh, because I said I was going to watch all the Screams that like Wes Craven did. Because I was like, oh yeah, I want to finish the Scream. Like, I don't know if I was going to finish the whole trilogy this month, but I was like, oh, I think Wes Craven only did the first 3, so that's what I'll watch. And Kendra was like, actually, he did the 4th one too, just to let you know, so you can watch it. And I'm like, no, I won't have time. And Kendra was like,
like, you said it. I'm just holding you accountable. You said it.
I know. It's so mean of Kendra to hold me accountable to my own words. How could she? Do we want to start with Halloween 2?
Sure, let's do it.
We'll start with Halloween 2. So for Kendra, it's her 600th watch of the film. For me, it's my first time. And I gotta say, I thought it was alright.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
It kind of sucks a little bit because there's that meme where it's like, we need to stop remaking good movies. We need to remake bad movies that had like good intentions.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so true. And I feel like Halloween 2 is that case. Because I feel like the premise is good. Like, you literally pick up, she's taken to the hospital, and Michael is still stalking her to the hospital. I also
like how so far, like, Friday the 13th, Scream, and now this one, each one of them has had like the previous film recapped in the beginning for the sequel. Like,
literally was thinking that. I was like, God fucking hell.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I thought they did a really good job up until Laurie came out on the stretcher. I'm like, yes, I see. Yeah. Because her hair was so different.
Right,
I was like, yeah. I was like, nice try, guys, but whew.
Which actually, I didn't look. I should look. I wonder how many years apart those movies, like the second one was made from the first one.
I think only a couple. Like 2, maybe?
78.
2? I'm throwing my guess in as 2.
Okay, so the first original Halloween was made in 1978, and the second one was made in 1981.
Oh, 3 years.
Yes.
Right? Math is hard. So, I mean, for the most part, they did pretty good on, like, matching it. Yeah. Like I said, I really didn't notice it till Laurie's hair, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna tuck that back in. We'll just put that judgment away, and we're just gonna continue to watch the film.
Did you happen to notice, because I guess it's also part of why I wanted to know how far apart the movies were made, is because in the background of when the police officer goes to discover that his daughter was one of the victims, did you notice that there was a guy in the background who was dressed like Marty McFly?
Oh no, I didn't know.
He had like the jean jacket and the orange life preserver, not a life preserver, but like the vest that looks like the life preserver on. And that was, again, I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. When was this movie made? So this movie was made before Back to the Future, which is also kind of interesting. and it was just a weird coincidence. So maybe that was just like a popular style in the 80s that was just defined iconically by Back to the Future. But yeah, I thought that was really weird. I'm like, oh, that's different.
Interesting. I thought you were gonna say how you saw the girl's eyes move.
I did see that
like,
too.
100%. But again,
Yes,
I was like,
did see that
whatever.
too.
I can forgive. It was just very funny to see.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just like a little let down, I guess. And to be fair, I don't know what it was specifically that I didn't really enjoy about this go around. Maybe it's because it was like they were just forcing, like there was the doctor character who was just having his fun drive around town, basically putting him everywhere but the hospital.
Yeah.
Until like the very end. So I was like, okay, we're building the lore. Okay, it's fine. We're building the lore. But yeah, I don't know what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it because it still had like the same like slow build up like the first one, but I don't know if it's just because in the first one, you know, he was just this entity that nobody was aware of, just kind of moving through life, whereas now people were kind of more heightened and they knew something was happening because they were slowly talking about how like the murders were happening. But so like some of the characters were kind of on edge already, so like maybe that was the issue. I don't know. I just didn't find, like, I found the pacing very slow.
Yeah.
I just found it kind of annoying. I was just like, can we go?
Right? And some of the kills felt very...
Oh, all the eye stuff. Michael, no. Like, the needle to the eye.
Yeah. Right?
Michael. Rude.
Yeah,
Fucking
I don't know.
rude.
Some of the kills were just kind of like,
Yeah, I was just like, and the guy slipping in the blood was hilarious.
Right?
That was what I, like, that's about the time I tuned in on TV last year when I watched it, was that 10-minute segment.
Oh, really?
And I thought I watched the whole thing, but I think I just tuned in, watched 10 minutes, and then walked away, I guess.
Oh, really?
Which is unfortunate, because that's kind of, like, the best part of the film, because it's actually, like, ramped up, and now we're actually, like, getting into some action. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I didn't really miss a whole lot. Cool.
Right?
Maybe that's why I stopped watching, because I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch it in its entirety. So I was like, I'll just shelve this for now. Yeah, the eye kills were just unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I feel like, maybe I'm crazy, but like in the first one, they like kept Michael way more in the shadows versus, like, there were a couple kills where like he was just like in shadow, which was really cool. But like the second you kind of saw him walking around, I was kind of a little less terrified because like maybe I'm also used to like the more modern iterations where like the mask is a little more like form-fitting to his face, or at least it has a harder shell to it, like a harder structure, whereas like you can just see how it doesn't fit the actor, so it's just like, oh, I'm just like, it looked fucking goofy,
right?
Like until you stab people in eyeballs, then I'm like, yeah. But like otherwise he kind of looked like a big goofy guy to me. So.
And now with all like the spoofs and memes that are out too, it just kind of like it loses a bit of the what's the word, the illusion of like, ooh.
Yeah, whereas before at least they kept him just on the edge of darkness. You couldn't quite tell who he was. So yeah, I wasn't a humongous fan of that. Yeah, the eyeball thing, that fucked me up.
And then the scene where they discover they're chasing after him, and then they think they hit him with the car, and then it like gets set on fire, and it turns out that it's the 17-year-old kid. I
love how we glossed over that so quickly.
I know, and I'm like,
murdered someone.
So many questions. I'm like, how did that kid know to wear the same costume? Because like, basically, like, because I can't remember from the first one when he obtains the mask, but like, it was just such a weird like they put that in there obviously for like the shock and being like, oh my god, they got him, but it was like, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
I mean, I even knew, I was like, well, that's not him. Like, I don't know. Who are we tricking here, people?
Right.
And again, this cop straight up murders a teenage boy, and he's just like, well, another day on the job, I guess. I'm just like, all right then, let's go, I guess. Yeah, that was kind of, I mean, it was funny, but like, it's not funny, but it's kind of like that thing I sent you where it's like the type of people you are when you watch horror films. That was my psychotic moment. I was like, that's hilarious. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to shout out was like Lori's like weird flashback sequence. Mommy, I'm not your mom.
Right?
Like, what a poor like. I understand like what they were, because they had to lead up to the fact like, oh, like she was adopted to a different family, that's why she doesn't have the same name as him, but like could have written a different scene,
right?
Or just like, I'm not your mom. Just like, and like she looked like she was like 12 to 14 years old. Like, was that necessary?
Right?
By any means, but whatever.
Yep.
Nitpicks, I guess.
I know. Well, to play on your point that you made earlier about they should remake the bad movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. They did actually technically remake the storyline of these first two movies with Rob Zombie's Halloween films, where they actually like go more into depth on that whole like her being related to him, and like you get to see his upbringing and why, like kind of more why he became Michael Myers in the way he was. And so yeah, it's definitely fleshed out a lot more in his version. It's just very, his is definitely more like dark and like, you know, it's Rob Zombie. So.
I was gonna say, what? You're kidding me. What? Rob Zombie?
Right?
Dark? Dead I am the white of my day, the bed, the chain, the breeze. You know,
yeah.
That song. My copyright safe song version. Well, because I also sent Kendra this whole thing, because again, I'm so new to this, and there was this girl trying to explain how, like, if you watch these sets of movies, you're gonna follow this timeline of the, almost like, what?
Right?
What? But I mean, after seeing that, I kind of, like, I know it's maybe too early, but maybe for next year's spooky month, that's what we should do. The entire month could be dedicated to all the Halloween timeline movies. And then, 3, it's its own thing.
Yep.
Apparently. I was like, all right, cool
and then
beans.
in, like, 5 and 6, he's got a niece suddenly.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, I guess.
Right? Uncle Michael Myers.
Fucking weird. But yeah, I would say this is probably one of my least favorite ones I've watched this month.
Yeah, I would agree.
But yeah, I'm more interested now in the multiple different timelines to watch. Right. So, like I said, maybe next year that's what we'll do. We'll dive into all the different timelines, maybe.
Yeah.
That could be really fun. Death. Well, before we get on to Scream, I will briefly, I guess, talk about Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
I won't lie, I was very confused when I watched it.
Oh, really?
Because the gist I got from the trailer, to be fair, was that the idea is that there's like they're all a band of like hunters. In their realm, they have the dark magical creatures and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it gave me the vibes of was it Shang? The Legend of the Ten Rings, where they talked about how there was the dimension of like other monsters. Like that's the kind of vibe I got. So like in their dimension, they have monsters and they are hunters, and their like hunter leader dies.
Okay.
And so what I got from the trailers, I thought that like one of them was like, which I was kind of right, but like one of them was a werewolf, so I thought it was more of like a whodunit kind of thing. You're trying to figure out who the werewolf was.
Oh, okay.
But that's actually not it at all. So it was a very confusing watch for a while. I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, I love werewolves, so that's why I was like, I'm down for it. Although I think there is a different movie that's actually based on the game Werewolf by Night. Oh. There's an actual movie, I think, that's more of like the whodunit scene. So maybe I'll have to look that up and watch that one. But yeah, the Marvel one, it's all shot in black and white, and it definitely has like the vibes of like what was I gonna say, like the monster from the Black Lagoon kind of vibe. So like it has a really cool style to it.
Neat.
And yeah, basically the hunter leader dies, and everyone wants this red amulet, I guess he holds, and so in order to get it, they capture a different monster and they put it on that monster, and so the hunters have to kill this monster to get like this inheritance, this guy's inheritance and shit. And so like his daughter's there, but apparently like she walked away from monster hunting, and her stepmom was just kind of being a bitch basically. but said she could stay and like be part of the thing. So I guess she's the black sheep of the monster hunting world, I guess. But yeah, it was very cool to watch. It was cool. It was hard to believe it was from Marvel because, like I said, the vibe of like old monster films, being its vibe, it was like really cool to see. And the lesson was actually that, like, you shouldn't judge people by how they look because we're all monsters on the inside.
Aww.
But yeah, like I said, so it was a little weird watch halfway through. Like, it's not very long. It's like 50 minutes. Honestly, I think you might get a kick out of it just because the aesthetics of it are very cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just very confused for the first like half of that thing because I was like, oh, we're not looking for, okay, here we go. So, apart from that minor confusion, like it wasn't a bad watch. Although, what I'm watching right now is because every Marvel property they've released, they do like a making of. That's on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah.
So I started watching that making of to like try to get some ideas behind it. But instead, so far, it's like this really like heartfelt like home movie type thing because the director of it is actually a music composer.
Oh.
But like he had a whole background in like doing film, but then he's done like so many different like sound. I say that now, and I can't think of any of them. They listed all the movies he's done, but he's done like a lot of recent Pixar films and stuff. So
okay.
And he talked about like how excited he was to direct like his first thing, and I was like, this is so cute. I haven't finished it, but I was like, that's so sweet.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll have to continue watching that. But yeah, Werewolf by Night. If you got 50 minutes to spare, very cool old monster film vibe.
Cool.
You can also. So the original is in black and white, but you can also watch it in color if you like.
Oh, that's cool.
So I might watch in color and see if there's anything I missed in the color version. But
nice.
We'll see.
Yeah, cool.
Oh. But yeah, let's get to Scream 3.
All right.
Scream. Let's scream at poor Courtney Cox's hair. And, like, it sucks because I was like, that had to have been the trend of hairstyles.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that because even from, like, the second to the first, right? Because she's, like, a reporter, right? So she has to be, keeping up with the Joneses,
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's just one of those times where you're like, who thought this trend was cool?
Right.
Like, it couldn't have been cool back then.
It was I think it was meant to be, like, edgy and, like, alternative and matched with like the pixie cut kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know, it was the micro bangs. I don't know, some people can pull them off, and if you like the micro bangs, cool, but I don't know, it's just it's a weird hair trend I don't understand.
Yeah. It was obviously better when they flattened it out a little bit. Because then it looked like it was very intentional. Oh, she just parted her hair.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime it, like, stuck up, it was like...
Yeah.
Again, that's a very easy nitpick to me. That's fine. But on to the story of the people of Stab 3 getting murdered.
Yep.
So I was pretty excited when we opened up with Cotton getting killed. So that was, like, super exciting to me.
Right.
Because I know I bitched about him last time, so I was pretty happy he died right away. I was like, oh, my dreams come true.
Yeah.
But, man, they're really good at, like, the psychological stuff to the brain.
Yeah.
In these movies. Just because, again, the opening is, like, the Ghostface character is chasing after Con's girlfriend. Con is trying to busily drive home to, like, save her. And in this one, this particular villain has, like, a voice changer.
Mm-hmm.
So he pretends to be Con. He's like, oh, no, babe, I'm just playing. And she's like, why? Like, that's really weird. He goes, yeah, I want to cut you up. And so she's freaking out. So then Con's coming to try to save her. And she's, like, losing her mind because she's like, you were just, like, dressed up in a costume trying to freak me out. And he's like, no, I'm not.
She doesn't know who to trust.
And then he's, like, sneaking behind and he's like, babe, you need to look out. So she clocks him with the fucking golf club and then gets stabbed in the back. I was like, God damn, Ghostface.
Right?
You fucked up, Ghostface. You fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You fucked up. But yeah, the plot is basically we are following the characters from Scream 3, or sorry, Stab 3, the in-movie version of Scream. And all the actors
more
are
meta
dying,
with meta and meta.
right? And supposedly their characters are dying in the order they die in the script.
Yes. We have Jenny McCarthy plays one of the actresses.
Oh, is she the blonde?
Yeah, that was Jenny McCarthy. It is so weird to see her and stuff. Like, it's funny to because I just know her now. Like, I mean, you knew who she was, but I'm so used to seeing her like for either New Year's or on The Masked Singer. So to see her doing like actual scripted like movies and TV and stuff, I'm like, hey, it's Jenny.
So weird,
right?
Did not pick up on that.
Yeah, Jenny McCarthy and Parker Posey is the other one who's playing Courtney Cox's character. She's like her film's version of Gale Weathers. Yeah,
Jennifer, loved her.
Yeah,
I didn't like her, and then I was like, I really like you. So I was pretty sad when she died too. I was like, I couldn't let her live. I was like, she was such a hoot. Oh yeah, and then they had Carrie Fisher, or not Carrie Fisher.
Not Carrie Fisher, yeah.
Very good, very good.
That was good, yeah. And Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey's in this one too.
I know, Dr. McDreamy.
McDreamy.
As the detective, who I was definitely like super sus on for the longest time.
I know, me too.
And I was like, really? I was like, it's not him. Oh shoot, I meant to look that up again today. After watching Scream 2, I found this guy on YouTube that like broke down like the mystery of like how they like break up the mystery so you could solve it yourself kind of thing.
Okay.
And it was just like, I don't know. If I remember, I will send you the link or something. Because, yeah, it was just, like, a really thoughtful, like, in-depth thing on, like, just, like, the murders of Scream. And you can kind of, like, figure out, like, context clues-wise of, like, who did it kind of thing. And I was like, oh, very cool.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I was 100%. And, of course, they emphasize the whole thing of, like, red herrings. Like, there's so many red herrings.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, they were really trying to push, like, that petite girl. But I was like, there's no fucking way. She can't even hold a knife. Like, look how weak she is.
Right?
Sorry. She's so weak. That's just not happening.
No, I was sold that it was Patrick Dempsey, like, right from when he first, like, enters on screen. I'm like, it's him! He's the killer!
Right?
He was just... And, like, there was specifically one scene where he... It's the scene where Sydney comes in and she's sitting in the detective's office with him. And he's just, like... looking at her really like creepily and like lovingly in a weird way, and then he goes to leave and she's like, what's your favorite scary movie? And he like gets real close to her. I'm like,
my life.
Red flag.
Right? I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I figured like he could have been like a partner, but like, yeah, like he was on my radar, but like the one itch I was like, what is the relation to her mom? So
right.
I was genuinely surprised that it was the writer.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, it all makes sense. Okay, cool beans. I gotta say, for like, because I even looked up, because I think that movie just came out in like early 2000s, and having a plot revolve around the fact that like, you know, like the dirty Hollywood parties and stuff and all the unfortunate things that happen. I was like, wow, we were already like, this is the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, you just wouldn't think that would be a plot line.
Right.
Then they're like, nah, brah, woo!
Yeah.
Party. But I was like, oh. So I was very impressed. I was like, wow, the nuance in 2000s. Wow, we did it.
We did it.
Scream solved world peace. We did it.
The awareness.
Right? I was like, wow. But I was genuinely, but at the same time, like, it was probably smart because, like, I'm just so used, like, obviously after the first two films, there's always two Ghostface.
Yeah.
So the fact this time around there was only the one actually kind of surprised me a little bit. I was like, interesting. But I guess at the same time, like, I don't know if you had two people again, like, would that dry it? Like, and again, like, I haven't watched any of the other ones, so I don't know if the other films have one going forward or maybe two again, or they switch it up constantly. So I'd be very interested to know, but it was an interesting change up. So I was like, oh, very cool.
Right.
Very, very cool. And I mean, I guess to be fair, the idea of always having the second person was to have a fall guy. And so in his mind, he was going to use Sydney. So I was like, okay. Who also was like MIA for like the entire movie, which was probably great for her. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to chill.
Right.
I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm just going to chill.
Yep.
That's fine. It's fine.
She's like, I'm so done with this.
Right? Don't blame her.
Yeah.
Don't blame her one bit. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't have anything too bad to say. Like, again, like, I'm really enjoying the Scream movies. Like, I'm just like,
I'm glad.
great time.
I enjoyed this one much more than the second one, personally. I just found the second one I found to be very slow, and I just wasn't as invested in the storyline of the first one, or the second one, sorry. But this one, I really enjoyed this one. I felt like there was just it was a little bit more upbeat for the pace, at least. And I was able to kind of follow everything a bit more. And yeah, it was entertaining. It was kind of cool to have that whole like juxtaposition of everybody in the real world trying to figure out what's going on while the people on the movie set also. So it was kind of like this cool, like, frame within a frame within a frame kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I might like the second one like a smidge more.
Oh, really?
But like, again, I enjoy both of them. So like, it's gonna be sad when I run into one I don't like. You know what I mean? But now that I found out that Wes Craven's done the fourth one, I guess I'll watch the fourth one.
And that one's got a pretty big cast too, so I feel like it'll be a good one to watch.
Yeah, Emma Roberts, Hayden Panettiere, I saw. That's what I only saw from the trailer. Which, I gotta say, I'm always annoyed. Like, Paramount at least, like, has, like, a trailer tab you can... I mean, I guess it's not Paramount. Like, Prime itself, like, there is, like, if you look at a movie, and if it has, like, a trailer, you can press it, and I like that, because sometimes Netflix, you have to just hover, and I don't like that. Yeah. But again, both of them have the crime of, like, oh, trailer, and it's, like, a scene from the movie. I'm like, that's not a trailer.
It's not a trailer, yeah.
Not a trailer, you know? So then I have to Google it, and then I get mad, or YouTube it, sorry, and then I'm like, it's right here, guys. You're telling me you can't, you know?
Right.
But alas. So I did watch, because I think they just had a scene from, I don't know. It was with Roberts, Hayden Panettiere, Sydney, and Dewey. In the house. I don't know. I was like, oh, this is not a trailer. I'm like, this isn't a trailer. But yeah, it's gonna be wild because, like, because again, I looked up because, like, Scream 3 was only 2000, and then this one's like 11-ish years later. Yep. And just like the style is so different. I mean, even watching, like, I don't think we really commented on it, but like watching like the first couple Scream movies, they're in the late 90s. So they have, like, that look. Yeah. Yeah. Again, just based on how it's shot and, like, the camera equipment. So just having that 11-year jump and, like... Right. I know they had close-up shots in the Scream film, but I don't know. Like, these ones felt even closer. At least from the, the non-trailer trailer I watched. Right. But even like,
the third one, too. Like, I know, like, the whole kind of focus was around, like, the Hollywood style, and it felt very much more like a Hollywood kind of action-y thriller type, like just the whole feel of it too even felt that way compared to the first two, so maybe that's intentional, but right, because they are in Hollywood, baby, right? But yeah, I'm now excited. Yeah, like each time I'm just like excited to get my teeth into the next one, the next one. Who knows, maybe I will finish the Scream trilogy, because really once I do 4 there's just 2 more, so really. And then if you really want to, you could dive into the TV series, too. That is true. Did we confirm where that was? Was it Netflix, or is it somewhere? I think it might also be on Paramount, but I think we'll have to double confirm that. More research! More research! More research! But yeah, that's another week of scary movies for us. Yes. What did you guys think? Have you been keeping up, or what have you been watching? Let us know in the comments down below. If you comment, I'll finish the Scream trilogy. Just kidding. I'll do that myself. And considering leaving this video a little likesy, we both do a lot of hard work on our thumbnails and intros, and we would really appreciate it. And also, if you want to stay tuned to whatever else we are watching, because we still have a couple more episodes left, you better subscribe to 2 pretty cool gals, in my opinion. But yeah, that's it for us for this week. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Watch all the content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Barely got that. Woo. Monkey.
And